morning, Northwest. I'm Truman.
And I'm Isabella.
And we'd like to welcome you to Tie and Connect. Please stand for the pledge. Put your right hand over your heart and your left hand by your side and say it with us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for dress code check.
Can you say that any faster? Like the same way the dress code check?
You may now be seated. Track has their meet today at Kannapolis against Kannapolis and Concord. And then, and with special news. Help our school raise funds for picnic tables and Promethean awards and earn some awesome prizes. Log in tonight at funshop.com and share your personal shopping link through a text or email. Anything you sell counts for your Hedgehogs collectibles rewards too. So make sure to fill out your tickets and bring them to your teacher when you sell items to help our school fundraiser.
Good morning, Northwest. This is Isabella. During this week's announcement, we will review a few of the Positivity Project character strengths covered so far. This year, throughout the week, we will take another look at love, humility, love of learning, gratitude, and other people mindset, identifying and appreciating the good in others. Today, we'll focus on love of learning.
Why does love of learning matter? Individuals with a love of learning are highly motivated to deepen their existing skills and abilities or learn something completely new. People who exemplify a love of learning have a desire and ability to overcome challenges because it gives them a sense of control over their own actions and their environment.
As you go through your day, be sure to look for positivity in action and look for ways to demonstrate love of learning.
And now for Mr. Edmond.
Good morning, Northwest. So I hope everybody's having a wonderful start to their Wednesday. So I'm on here to do my normal This Day in History. So on March 26th, we're going to be taking a look at some events, some of which are tied in together to some topics that you guys are going to be learning. And I always references like my 7th grade and probably 8th grade here in a few weeks or so. Is talking about World War II. So the actual first one is related to World War II is because in 1945, is when the famous island of Iwo Jima, the battling that was going on between the United States and the Japanese naval forces, finally comes to an end with the United States officially securing that island on March 26, 1945. It will be in August of the same year, 1945, August 6th to be exact, is when we start to the end of World War II. That is when, in the first time and only time in human history, that a nuclear weapon was used here in the world. And that was dropped on August 6, 1945, that pretty much put the end of the Japanese front in World War II. In 1953, we had a doctor, Dr. Jonas Salk, who actually created the vaccine for polio. And how that's tied into World War II is probably a very, the most famous person that had dealt with polio before he had passed away in office was President Roosevelt. So Franklin Delano Roosevelt is the only president that has officially been elected for 4 different terms. That was why we do have the amendment in the United States Constitution that states that presidents can now only serve 2 terms. So President FDR was the last president to be able to serve 4 terms. When he was elected, he was diagnosed with polio. He was hospitalized. He was in a wheelchair while he was the president of the United States. He did then die in office. So this is for the doctor then in 1953 was able to find create the vaccination, for polio. So that was a major scientific achievement. And I know that in our science classes, we talk, especially in 8th grade, I know you guys talk about diseases. So that this was a world event for sure to have that vaccination of polio. Getting into then 1969 is when we have the first major demonstrations of anti-Vietnam War protests that are taking place in our nation's capital. So I know that our 8th graders here in the next couple of weeks, you're going to be heading to Washington, D.C. So you're going to be seeing some of the sites like the Lincoln Memorial as being one of the examples, the reflecting pond, and the Vietnam Wall, of course, that you will be seeing at the National Mall. And know that in 1969, we did have massive protests, people coming from all across the country to come to Washington, D.C. to protest the United States being involved in the war in Vietnam. Okay, and then in 1979, we had a world peace major event that took place on March 26, 1979, and this was the peace that exists between Israel and Egypt. In 1979, they had signed a treaty together to stop war in that region. And even though that this region is obviously still under a lot of duress, wars going on in Israel right now going on with Hamas and Hezbollah, that we still have major conflict in there. But in 1979, the process of creating peace between Egypt and Israel was officially signed on March 26, 1979, and it was signed here in the United States. All right, guys, that is your topics for this Wednesday. Wish our best to our teams tomorrow as they will be participating in a home baseball and volleyball game. So as always, being respectful, being responsible, and be safe, Northwest.